They didn't have a copy machine, a mere $25 or $50 copy machine, having spent $400 million to organize a revolutionary election, democratic, transparent election. After killing so many people and disrupting the lives of so many people, invested, they couldn't have the basic necessities to make sure that this system runs smoothly. Everybody was just stealing, robbing the government. It was an opportunity for them to enrich themselves. And these census agents, who obviously did not have the peace and the utmost interest of the country in mind, were already brewing terror to discourage the voters who, in their view, did not seem to rout for their candidates. This discriminating, arrogant and despicable behavior displayed by these census agents stemmed from the assurance conferred to them by the immovability of the rebels from their governmental positions until after presidential elections. These ministers, the government of Soro-Guillaume was said to be not movable. So as long as there was no election, they would have stayed until Jesus came. They would remain minister for lives and destroying the lives of so many people. How can the United Nations endorse this type of arrangement? Some agents went even as far as opening up a fraudulent enrollment center in June 2009. They did it in Harlem, New York. They did it for the purpose of enrolling foreigners who later would be paid to vote for the candidates of the rebels. I saw it with my own eyes. I went there and I saw foreigners sitting there. I spoke to them. Now, if those rebels had the audacity and arrogance to open up a fraudulent center, enrollment center in Harlem, it is clear that they did it back in Ivory Coast and elsewhere. And the fact that they used a birth certificate set a stage for failure, because thousands of birth certificates were produced to enroll fictitious candidates, and all the candidates were involved. Where are we going with these ignominies? Are these the signs of innovation and progress the rebel brought in Cote d'Ivoire? Are these the successes expected from a $400 million electoral system? And besides the fraudulent enrollment centers, there are so many and countless problems that I can't even begin to enumerate. So, Excellency, these are some of the many irregularities and weaknesses which make the current enrollment, identification and electoral system totally unreliable and potentially dangerous for the people of Cote d'Ivoire. This clearly shows that thorough background analysis and research were not done prior to the adoption and implementation of the electoral system and the launching of a presidential campaign as a whole. Under these circumstances, can we honestly expect to have clean and transparent elections in Cote d'Ivoire? Can we truly hope to have peace in Cote d'Ivoire? The rebel and their ally murdered the Ivorian people under the pretense that they wanted and could organize clean and transparent elections. 7 years just went by. Are we now in the dynamic of the elections they sought to organize at the price of the innocent victims' blood? Will the method proposed by the rebels, will it lead to national reconciliation and to the restoration of a lasting peace? How can the national and international observers back the preparation of a presidential elections in Côte d'Ivoire under these circumstances? Excellency, be as it may, the rebels have kept their weapon despite the fact that they are now government officials. The rebels are holding the people of Côte d'Ivoire hostage. Therefore, they are ruling as terrorists. What in the rebels' overall behavior is so right which may give any assurance of their sincerity and ability to organize the clean and transparent elections they are all bragging about? What is the guarantee of success? The electoral system proposed by the rebels was accepted by the people of Côte d'Ivoire because they had no choice. They were under duress. This stands true for all other decisions and agreements made with the rebels. Nowhere in the world, in France, in Germany, in the United States, in England, Italy, everywhere else, are elections held when part of a country is taken hostage, because the elected official cannot be fully operational if part of a country or part of a city or part of a region did not vote, take part to the vote. This is something that is not done and is not acceptable in other countries. Why is it acceptable? Why is it imposed to African people? So the decisions and agreements made with the rebels are standing on quicksand. And at this rate, indiscipline, disorder, and uncertainty will always reign as long as the rebels occupy part of the country and remain at their governmental positions. Therefore, Excellency, the rebels must go. The rebels must go if we are to organize clean and transparent elections in Côte d'Ivoire and start the reconstruction of the country. The rebels must go. Everywhere else, when someone behaves like an outlaw, the police comes in to make an arrest, to restore peace, security, and justice. That's what the United Nations ought to do in the case of Côte d'Ivoire. We cannot accept the trend of instability that took place in other countries. Côte d'Ivoire has a tradition of peace. We welcome everybody. Everybody. At all times. There is no time to welcome people in Côte d'Ivoire. Just because we have an open heart doesn't mean that we have to accept every The rebels must go, Excellency.